Good evening. Okay. uh, I guess. Was that a sneeze? Oh, okay. I thought she busted out laughing because I just said good evening. An- anyway, um, wow. Um, my apologies for being a no-show last night. Um, Shortly before the show, I started getting stomach cramps, and they were unbelievable. I used to deal with them, years ago, and once in a while I've had it kind of flare up a little bit, but nothing like it did yesterday. And man, by the time they quit, I was just wiped out, and so there was just no way I was gonna be able to get on. I know it's dark in here tonight. I didn't turn the lights up. I'm still and I don't want to deal with all the bright light. It lights this when I turn those lights up the way I normally do the show. It is blinding in here with those lights. So anyway, my apologies for not being here yesterday. Man, lot of stuff. I was pretty concerned throughout most of the day because Pat King hadn't made a live stream, and he is essentially the main spokesperson, if you will, for the convoy up in Canada. And that had me on edge for quite a while, but he did put out a video. I am actually going to play that video. He did put out a video a little bit ago, well, a little earlier. And I figured I would play that to kind of catch you up on that. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to let you know about what's going on with the U.S. convoy yet, because they're still hammering out details. But the links that are in the description, they are still good. Some of the state links may be inaccurate. I don't know which ones. However, when they update a list, then I will update the list that I have as well. So, anyway, other than that, I'll get to that stuff when I get to it. Let me go ahead and I'll hop on over, and you guys can watch this. This is Pat King from up in Canada, and he kind of explains why he wasn't around today and their plans for tomorrow. This guy's incredible. We would be so blessed in the United States to have somebody as well spoken as what this guy is. He does a really good job. Anyway, here's Pat King, and I'll just play the portion where he talks, and then we'll continue on.
Hey guys, how's it going? I I laugh, I don't really laugh. I look at all the beautiful comments and everybody saying, "Oh, he's back, he's back, he's back." Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you don't know I have a prosthetic leg, and some days the phantom pains get really bad. And today was one of those days where I just had to take a break. All the walking and everything, it's been pretty rough. So I slept a lot today. I don't want to get run down. I don't want to be, I don't want to be sick or sore or end up in a hospital. So I ended up just taking the day off, shutting off all comms, and let everybody know that I'm just going to take a break for today and be all prepped and ready for tomorrow. So I woke up about, I don't know, maybe an hour ago, had some supper, and just had to take a break, guys. I appreciate all the concerns and where I was and everything, but I suffer with this prosthetic leg some days, and it gets to be too much. Now tonight, a lot of talk about police everywhere. A lot of talk about police taking people's fires and stuff away. Well, that's all right, guys. They're going to do whatever they can do. They're just trying to poke, right? They're trying to poke where they're trying to see if they can get a reaction. You guys are killing it. All right, everybody out there, you're killing it. They don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you smiling. They don't want to see you hugging each other and having a good time. But you're killing it out there. You guys are doing it peacefully, and you know what? Once they take one fire away, and then all of a sudden they've got another one. I just look at it and I say, you know what? These guys are resilient. These guys are amazing. I love each and every one of you guys, and I'm so proud of the demeanor you guys are carrying. You know, the way you guys are holding your heads up strong and high. You guys are legends, man. You all out there are the legends. You guys are doing this so amazing that it's very humbling to see. But enough of the praises. It's time to go do some freedom stuff. Tomorrow morning, I'm requesting early tomorrow morning at I want to say 7:30 tomorrow morning. I would like to meet as many people as possible down at the Coventry staging grounds. I'm looking for four-wheelers. I'm mainly looking for riggers. Anybody with a big rig. Want to go do some freedom stuff with me tomorrow? I'm asking each and every one of you guys. I can't tell you where we're going. I can't tell you what we're doing. But what do you want to go do with me tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning? Ladies and gentlemen, I am requesting anybody with a four-wheeler, anybody with a rig. I need about 50, but I'll take 100. But we're going to go do some freedoming in the morning. But I can't tell you where we're going. I need you to trust me. I need you to put your faith in me. And I need you all to have radios. So that we can communicate to each other. So four-wheelers that came in all the way from out west, and you've got Lad 2. I'm requesting that you be a part of this tomorrow. Taking jerry cans away today. Yeah, they're taking empty jerry cans away. It was pretty funny. I saw that. So tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. at the Coventry Base Camp, I am requesting, I want 50 semi-trucks. 50 semi-trucks. I need you guys. I need you to meet me down at Coventry at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Four-wheelers, you are welcome to come as well. But we're going to go do some freedom stuff tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time that we maybe step up the game a little bit. And I've been given permission from the higher-ups. I've been given permission from the other people that there's some things that we're going to go do tomorrow. And I'd really appreciate it if you met me down at Coventry tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. sharp. Have your flags on your vehicles. Have your horns ready to go. And let's go do some freedom stuff. Who's in? Who's in with me? Who's ready to go play freedom? Are we going to Toronto? No, we're not going to Toronto. Nope, we're not going to Toronto. So I want to, hey, George. George. He's flying a plane. Oh, George is flying the drone. He's learning how to fly the drone. Come on up here, Owen. Take a look at Owen right now. He's ready to go do some freedom stuff. Are we going freedoming, Owen?
You bet, buddy.
And tomorrow, are we going to go do some freedom stuff?
We do it every day, don't we?
Every day we try and do more and more freedom stuff.
All day, all night.
Yeah, so hashtag freedoming. All right, that's what our new thing. We're going to go do freedom stuff. We're going to freedoming the world. But yeah, someone that I lost during this pandemic, the depression took over, but your voice, your face, your determination, the positive vibe you spread, it's like a real gift. I went down last weekend and coming again this weekend. Thank you so much for this, and continue to go good work. Unity is the strength, and love will always conquer, and freedom. Thank you so much, Tanya Sweeney. I've heard so many stories from a lot of people. It's heartbreaking when you hear it. I've had people come up to me say I saved their lives. I didn't save your life. You saved your life. I just kind of gave you that kickstart, that little kick in the butt to get you up and going. But tomorrow morning sounds like a damn good time. Sean Nelson, tomorrow morning is going to be a really good time. I'm telling you guys. I can't let the cat out of the bag, right? But just know this. Who is higher than me? There's some logistics guys. Remember, I'm just a guy with a social media platform. That's all I am. All right? That's all I am. I'm just a social media guy. Agreeing. Did I see the letter from Trudeau agreeing to meet? No, I didn't see that. That guy's not going to come to the table. Come on now. He damn near stormed out of the House of Commons yesterday crying and pouting. He ain't coming. I'm not worried about Justin Trudeau coming out. But there it is. That's what's going on. Four-wheelers like ATVs. No, we call four-wheelers the cars because when you're in the big trucks and you're driving in the big trucks, they look like little tiny four-wheelers. I also want to address something else. Now, you all see that there was a CBC hit piece done out by a gentleman who drove a tow truck and was moving the big shed for us. Randy, I've tried to call you many a times. I talked to your wife already for your derogatory comments that you want to punch me in the teeth in CBC. For CBC to even write that in there, come on, man. I never forced you to go there. I put out a request to ask for people to go down and assist in moving a big cook shack. That's what I did. I never told you to go down there. I never asked you to be there. I asked to help 100 people to go down there and lift the shack up and move it out of the way. You took it upon yourself to go.
Hang on, let me it gets frozen for a moment. There we go. It'll come back now.
All right, I got a little zap there, guys. I don't know what happened. I lost my internet connection here in the house. Sorry about that. I want to hear what this jerk did. So, that being said, guys, what happened was I put out a request a few days ago to get a cook shack moved from Confederation Park because I was called by the people down there to come and see if we can get a bunch of truck drivers to come down and help move this. So we got it moved. We got it moved out of the place, but I guess some gentleman came down with the tow truck and had assisted in where he could help put this on and drive it to a location where they wanted it. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even in the area. I just put a live out saying, okay, they need help. Now this gentleman is being harassed. He's getting death threats. He's getting all these comments and attacks on his business. Randy and your wife, I talked to your wife already. I never did that. Nobody in my groups would do that. Now, the people that are doing that are probably the paid trolls, or maybe it was a setup right from the start and you were assisting. I don't know. But I smell a rat in this whole conversation. And the fact that you jumped into CBC and did a report with CBC, you know CBC is a bunch of lying sons of bitches. So I just want to say, I apologize to you. I've called your wife. I've apologized to your wife. I've tried you on the phone many, many times. You're refusing to answer my phone calls. It is what it is, bro. I don't know what happened. I was not part of that, and I didn't okay or have people come and attack you. Unfortunately, people are assholes out there. Unfortunately, the world is full of some really ignorant and disgusting and rude people. But for them to harass you is wrong. So to the people that are out there harassing this gentleman and his company, stop. Enough is enough. You're not getting anywhere, but you're scaring a young family and they don't want to be, all they were doing was trying to help out. I get it. But Randy, for saying what you said in the CBC, doesn't make sense, bro. Doesn't make sense what you said in that article. That being said, it is what it is, and I'm going to carry on. I want to do some freedoming tomorrow. I want to go do freedom stuff, and I want everybody who's available to come and help. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are available tomorrow and you would like to come out and play freedom, come with us. Meet me tomorrow down at Coventry at 7:30 a.m. and come on down and let's go play freedom. I want everybody to have your radios, if you have your radios, and I want everybody to abide by the rules of the road, and I'll give you a location of where we're going tomorrow. But tomorrow is being requested of us. We are being put to task, and tomorrow we're going to roll. Ready? I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. We're going to go do freedom stuff.
Alrighty. Yeah, that was awesome to see after, like I say, a day of not seeing him. It was kind of one of those things where you just get used to seeing him every morning with an update and stuff like that. And for him to be MIA for a good part of the day, a guy that is commonly with him, that they call Freedom George, he was live, I guess, on his account earlier, and there were several people asking about Pat, and he had said then that that he was resting and that everybody was okay, but he was resting. So there was obviously a lot of concern when he just kind of disappeared and didn't go live throughout the day. So and you know, there's obvious reasons why we have concerns with that. Of course, Lavoie always comes to mind when stuff like this is going on, and I certainly hope that they don't try to handle it that way. But you know, this is big. This is big, and I don't know if it's happening or what's going on with it, but I know that there was a call out for ships to I guess start lining the docks. I don't know if they're doing that, if they intend to do that or whatnot. He had also, meaning Pat King, had also called on the tradesmen and women, and you know, just pretty much any Canadian to get to Ottawa, because you know, it looks like they're going to really kind of try to bring the hammer down, meaning the government. And of course, if that place is flooded with people, that's going to be hard for them to do. And if you have a show, and I hate to use the term show of force, because I don't mean it that way. However, I mean, let's just break it down and be honest, that's what it is. And if you have a large enough amount of people congregated in one area, all of them saying enough, it's probably a good idea to listen to them. It just it's a crazy situation, and I understand that. I also understand how they think that governments think that if they take the head off the snake, that it's going to just kill the snake. I don't think that that's going to happen in this case. I think if they took the head off the snake, I think that snake would grow multiple heads real quick. And I have a feeling that would be one hell of a regret on Justin Trudeau's part. Just my thoughts. It's crazy. It is. It's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely historic So something to keep an eye on. Pardon me. I do have some tabs open of mainly stuff to do with the protest. I do have a couple dealing with other things, but most of this is dealing with the trucker protests. Like I said, I don't have anything really as far as the U.S. protest, other than to tell you that they are working out details. This is very early on into it, so it's early to be able to make any kind of calls, to be honest, of any kind. If they do this correctly, or even remotely correctly, they are going to really tread carefully as they go through and discuss the routes, what kind of actions they want to take, and stuff like that. Because you don't want to be too far out of line. The idea, of course, is civil disobedience, but at the same time, you don't want to cause such a problem that you lose the people's support. And so that's a factor to consider. So they are working out all kinds of details at this moment, as far as I know. The latest, let me see. Trying to find, I see no pinned posts. And in fact, I don't, hang on here. Well, there was a thing that was going around earlier, and I was trying to find it, but I can't. Don't know where it's at. So anyway, actually, there's possibly a picture. Anywho, there was a thing that they had put out. Apparently, I guess there's different people that had different visions of where they were going with this, and so there was a statement that was put out yesterday, and then another statement was put out today, and saying that that they really didn't approve of the prior statement, and so the one they put out today was, I guess, supposed to be more in line, but they're supposed to be more forthcoming that they're going to come out with. And I know I really took all that amount of time to be able to tell you nothing, but that's where we're at. It's been very slow going, but and I, just my personal opinion, I think there's some things they could do a little better. They really need to get a face on this, and they need to pick one that's going to make videos, one that's going to be the Pat King, so to speak, and start, even if they don't have any real updates to give, just make a presence, and that's important, to keep that presence. And so that hasn't started yet, and I think things will start doing a lot better when that does. So I know myself and other people have mentioned the same as well, and hopefully they kind of take the hint on that, because right now you've got a bunch of people, getting together in Telegram, and, not a whole lot of people know what's really going on. You have states groups, and some of the state groups are actually working and getting stuff done. From my understanding, other state groups aren't. They haven't verified all the state groups yet. So I think we're good. We both, I think our state's been not only verified, but there's some folks in our group that's really busy at work. So, I believe it's coming. I don't want to sit here and give you a hard date. They're saying in the beginning of March. We'll see. There's more groups. This is not the only group. There are some other groups that don't like the mission of this group and want to go on their own mission. And so I have a feeling that you're going to see a bunch of movements, no matter how small or large, pop up with various goals in mind. I am watching this group. We'll see what happens. But this group is the first group that got media attention. And so I have a feeling that these individuals are still going to have that access to media. And let's face it, that's a big advantage when it comes to these groups. So I think this group, as long as they follow through and don't lose too many people in the beginning here when they're not really communicating so well, I think this one's got a chance to grow pretty big. So anyway, let me have a sip of coffee. All right. Fun times. All right, got one here. Trudeau scolded over swastika waving anti-vax condemnation. Says Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has been accused of provoking the ire of anti-vaxxers after he took aim Freedom Convoy protesters, some of whom have been spotted waving flags associated with genocidal Nazi regime. Conservative lawmakers, including the party's interim leader, Candice Bergen, said on Monday night that Trudeau was feeling discontent at a time when many Canadians were hoping for life to return to normal. We're at a crisis point, not just outside the doors and all across the country, but the country overall, Bergen said, adding that so much of it is because of the things he said and done. The comments came after truckers from the so-called Freedom Convoy blocked the Ambassador Bridge, the busiest route connecting Canada to the U.S. The activism originally started as a protest against vaccine mandate for cross-border truckers, but demonstrators have now vowed not to leave Ottawa until all COVID restrictions are lifted. Speaking on Tuesday, Trudeau said the dangerous and economically painful activism had to stop. This is a story of a country that got through this pandemic by being united, and a few people shouting and waving swastikas does not define who Canadians are, the Prime Minister told lawmakers during an emergency debate, which isn't even remotely what's been going on there. He said, people of Ottawa don't deserve to be harassed in their own neighborhoods, don't deserve to be confronted with the inherent violence of a swastika flying on the street corner or a Confederate flag, or the insults and jeers just because they're wearing a mask. That's not who Canadians are, he argued. And from my understanding, anybody that's even seen getting even a Confederate flag, even if you try to fly a Confederate flag, they will run you off. From my understanding, they don't. The folks there don't want any association with anything remotely like that, just simply because the media will use it to spin it, and so they're trying to keep that away. I hope these individuals in the U.S. keep politics out of what they're doing, because if they start bringing politics into it, it's going to alienate one whole side of the movement real quick. And I hope they tread very carefully when it comes to that, because obviously there's a lot of pro-Trumpers with this movement, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But some people are a bit extreme with it, and there is an issue with that. Whether it's extreme on the right or extreme on the left, either way, yeah, there's issue with that. Best to keep this non-political. Of course it has to do with politics and stuff like that. But nonetheless, you do not want to alienate supporters. And right now, there's a whole lot of supporters for this. The GoFundMe, or not the GoFundMe, you can slap me. The Give, Send, Go. GiveSendGo, right now is at $7,990,047. So they have almost raised the same amount of money that they had on GoFundMe. They're really close to it. And I find that absolutely incredible. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So anyway, that's enough of that one. Protesters defy police threat with fuel cans. So they had threatened people that if they brought like fuel or food or, material goods to support the people protesting, that they could be charged. And, they could be charged for a criminal act, right? And so they actually, it appeared like they staged a photo op or video op, if you will, of the police going in and raiding some trucks and taking their fuel cans, right? And so anyway, Pat King that morning told everybody, bring a fuel can. You don't even have to put anything in it. Just bring an empty fuel can, right? And so, they literally, I'm sure it was hundreds of people walking around with fuel cans in their hand. And some people, they were empty. Some people, they had some kind of a liquid in it. You never knew what it was. Some people had water in theirs. I heard a report that somebody actually had coffee in one, that they were serving coffee to people out of their fuel can. So anyway, they're doing such an incredible job. I am anxious to find out what they have planned in the morning when they go freedoming. But and that's what worries me so much, that this is going to have a tragic ending, is because he's an incredible guy. He's really smart, and he's peaceful, and he uses his head. He keeps his emotions out of it, and he's doing it right. I sure the hell hope that we have somebody here that is going to be in the leadership like that. So anyway, again, funny moment. Police threaten to arrest protesting truckers. So now this is the new threat. Now they are saying police in the Canadian capital of Ottawa have threatened the Freedom Convoy protesters on Wednesday with fines, arrest, and seizure of their trucks if they do not stop their mischief. The truckers demand an end to the vaccine mandates and other COVID-19 restrictions in Canada. To obstruct, interrupt, or interfere with the lawful use, enjoyment, or operation of property is a criminal offense known as mischief to property, the Ottawa police announced on Wednesday afternoon. The police said that the unlawful act of blocking streets in the downtown core amounts to just such a crime. Anyone blocking the streets or assisting others in doing so directly or indirectly may be guilty of that offense and may be arrested without a warrant, the police said. Those arrested may be denied bail and their property, including trucks, may be seized and forfeited. You must immediately cease further unlawful activity or you may face charges, the police said. Ottawa is also threatening to levy hefty fines on idling, open fire, and noise complaints, all designed to force the truckers to leave, according to the Canadian state broadcaster CBC. Police are saying that charges and convictions related to the mischief protest may lead to denial of crossing the U.S. border. One of the reasons truckers cited for protesting is that the COVID-19 vaccine mandate is currently preventing many of them from doing just that, however. Hundreds of truckers and their supporters launched the Freedom Convoy on January 22nd, driving across Canada, and you know the rest of the story. I'm sure that most of this just repeats that, but crazy. Texas is now probing the shutdown of the fundraiser that was done on GoFundMe. I'll just read the first couple paragraphs here. It says, the Texas state government has opened an investigation into crowdfunding platform GoFundMe after the site shut down a campaign on behalf of Canadian truckers in the Freedom Convoy, a large anti-vaccination mandate protest staged primarily in Ottawa. The state's Attorney General Ken Paxton announced the move on Wednesday, saying he would act to protect Texas consumers and get to the bottom of this deceitful action following the platform's decision to cancel the Freedom Convoy fund drive. So I'll go ahead and read this quote. Said GoFundMe's response to an anti-mandate pro-liberty movement should ring alarm bells to anyone using the donation platform and more broadly any American wanting to protect their constitutional rights, he said, arguing that Texans deserve to know where their hard-earned money is going rather than allowing GoFundMe to divert money to another cause without their consent. So I have a feeling that GoFundMe is going to be in some trouble over all this. And we've got one more here. Now I'm sure you remember I've covered the border crossing at the Coots border. We've talked about Ottawa. I think I've talked about Toronto a little bit. Not much, but I think I mentioned it the other night. Now there's another border, the Ambassador Bridge, that they have blockaded. So anyway, I'm going to read a little bit of this. I don't know how, I can't tell you how accurate this is. I have no idea, but it's like, wow. It says here, Mayor reveals plan to deal with truckers blocking U.S.-Canada bridge. And says trying to forcibly remove truckers blockading the busiest U.S.-Canadian border crossing at Ambassador Bridge could lead to violence and even death, the mayor of Windsor, Ontario, cautioned on Wednesday, while his police chief called for a diplomatic approach. You have a number of people who are part of the protest group who have openly stated they feel such a passion for this particular cause that they are willing to die for it, Mayor Drew Dilkins told reporters on Wednesday. If you have people who hold that sentiment, that the situation can escalate and get very dangerous for police and those members of the public in very short order. It's fair to say we don't want to see anyone get hurt. Dilkins added that he's been getting calls from Windsor residents and businesses demanding the forcible removal of the truckers, but said such action may inflame the situation and cause more folks to come and join the protest. The Ambassador Bridge runs between Windsor and Detroit, Michigan. It has been closed to commercial traffic since Monday, when several dozen truckers set up a blockade on the Canadian side in solidarity with the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa. Let's see. Another group of truckers and farmers has been blockading a border crossing in the western province of Alberta for over a week as well. The Detroit-Windsor bridge traffic accounts for about $355 million worth of goods traded between the U.S. and Canada, more than a quarter of all commerce between the two countries. Canadian authorities have tried to route trucks to the Blue Water Bridge in nearby Sarnia on Wednesday. Truckers and farmers parked their vehicles near that bridge as well, causing a 4.5-hour delay to enter the U.S., said the Canada Border Services Agency. So, yeah, I'm not going to, that's, I think, just going back through all the other stuff that we've already talked about. But yeah, it's getting bigger. And I think the more pressure that the Canadian government puts on the protesters, I think the more pressure that truckers and people in other industry are going to put on the government. And, I really think that there's enough people behind this that they'll bring Canada to its knees if they have to, in order to get it to stop. And maybe that's exactly what countries need to do. So, I hope we're taking notes. Anyway, U.S. preparing for mass exodus of refugees. Shifting gears here, obviously. Just says here, Washington is bracing itself for an exodus of refugees fleeing Ukraine in the event of a Russian incursion. The White House has announced that tensions remain high in Eastern Europe. Speaking at a briefing on Tuesday, President Joe Biden's spokeswoman Jen Psaki touched on preparations that American officials are making in case Moscow's armed forces stage an incursion into its neighbor. We certainly prepare for a range of contingencies and work and engage with our European partners and counterparts to prepare for them, she explained, and that relates to the potential for refugees. It relates to the potential for natural gas or oil shortages. So anyway, I don't know. I have no idea what is going on over there. Hang on, let me have a sip of coffee. It surely does seem that there are some people getting ready for war. Hang on, just kind of. Let's see. Making sure there wasn't any big announcements or anything. I don't think so. This is okay. Anyway, UK proposes sending troops to counter Russia. So NATO is trying to rear their head, it would seem. Says here the UK will offer the US-led NATO to increase the number of British troops in Estonia, deploy additional Royal Air Force jets to southern Europe, and Royal Navy ships to eastern Mediterranean at the upcoming meeting between PM Boris Johnson and NATO Secretary Jens Stoltenberg. The new military package will be officially presented on Thursday during a visit by Johnson to the alliance's headquarters in Brussels. 10 Downing Street has announced on the eve of the trip. The proposed military buildup near Russia's borders would be conducted in the name of protecting NATO allies. So, I'm telling you, there's a massive troop buildup going on, and I really do honestly think that something's going to kick off. I am pretty certain of it. Anyway, let me have a few sips of coffee, a few vapes real quick, and we'll do those headline things and get the hell out of here. Oh, man. I'm going to do the headlines from yesterday as well, so I went ahead and backed up. Because there's a lot of stuff that's gone on between the last time I seen you. Oh, fun times. One more up there just popped up there. Let me... Where's that at? Oh, New Zealand. Hang on, let me get this shared out. Okay. Fun times. Alright, starting with yesterday. The whole world's watching. Ottawa protesters speak to RT. U.S. military ordered to pay $230 million to mass shooting victims. U.S. offers $10 million for info on Kabul airport bombers. Mayor wants New York to eat a plant-based centered life. So the mayor wants the people in the city to all be vegan. Let's just pull all the crap out of it. He wants everybody in the city to be vegan. China doubles down on NATO expansion. NATO predicts chances of Russian invasion in the Baltics. Bitcoin billions for Russia if it regulates crypto, says a report. Chimps do what we thought only humans could, a study reveals. I don't know what it is. I didn't read it. but they probably do it better. No evidence Russia behind explosions, says President. Again, these are yesterday's headlines. Neil Young urges Spotify employees to quit. Pedophile protector is mobbed outside UK Parliament. Hopefully those people get medals. Megalodon shark way beyond scientists' imagination, says a study. Steer clear of the word Jew, the dictionary says. Okay. Canadian judge silences protesting truckers. British police colluded with loyalist paramilitaries during Irish troubles, says a watchdog. NHS to offer fat jab amid obesity epidemic, says reports. A Tesla secretly excluded steering components in some cars, says reports. Beijing responds to $100 million U.S.-Taiwan arms deal. EU takes unprecedented action against Poland. Don't ask for a raise, the Bank of England tells Brits. Macron reveals Putin guarantees. Germany promises very tough sanctions on Russia. A woman is conned into believing she's training to be a federal agent. RTDE broadcast ban humiliating for Serbia, says Russian ambassador. Floundering Peloton to overhaul board as CEO quits. Scientists invent 4-minute COVID test. Dust walls could defeat hypersonic weapons, says a think tank. So could tornadoes, but it would probably be hard to really kind of deploy them in time, like to really, it's going to take a moment. NASA tests Son of Concorde, hopes to avoid the sonic boom. No fun in that. Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse eclipsed. A man gets court approval to sue Interpol president. Omicron discovered in wild animals for the first time. UK's Johnson reshuffles ministers after taxing month. A German state-owned broadcaster drops staffers after anti-Semitism probe. Still on yesterday's news. Neo-Nazi killer Breivik moving to new prison for change of environment. And I'm sure I said his name wrong. A U.S. declassifies blacklisting of one nation's president. Putin reveals timeline for abandoning oil and gas. Russia comments on reports tens of thousands could die in invasion. Ukraine refutes CNN conspiracy theory. Let's see. Canada-U.S. bridge blocked by Freedom Convoy. Trump gives Rogan advice on Spotify controversy. A scientist divulges easy way to lose weight. U.S. pledges to cover Russia's gas supply to Europe. Rust set medic sues the crew. Hell, let me sue somebody in that. I'll figure out some reason to sue somebody in that. Suspected jihadist cell targeted by police in EU state, 13 detained. Fire risk warning for almost 500,000 vehicles in the U.S. A new bill aims to prohibit U.S. military aid to Ukraine. Russia set to tap gas field hit by U.S. sanctions to supply its rivals, says media. A former pope responds to accusations of mishandling child abuse. A U.S. explains moral responsibility of weapons producers. Just 1 in 5 Americans see Ukraine as an ally, says a poll. UK's wokest university is sued over trans hate campaign. Putin makes deal with Macron over Russian troop buildup. Let's see. Russia sets out conditions for recognizing the Taliban. U.S. diplomats contemplate fleeing Kiev, says media. Johnson & Johnson stops COVID-19 vaccine production, says New York Times. Elon Musk gives views on traditional media. Americans have lost touch with reality, says Russia. Ukraine's ex-president answers Putin's asylum offer. Ask people in the Middle East whether NATO is strictly a defensive alliance, says Putin. A couple arrested in $4.5 billion stolen cryptocurrency laundering scheme. Still on yesterday's news. There's been quite a bit of news. Germany's an occupied state. U.S. won't let it make its own decisions, says Maria Zakharova. UK to arm Ukraine with anti-ship missiles against Russia, says Kiev's envoy. Canada's truck protest mimicked by another nation. This one was New Zealand's capital of Wellington. It's happening all over the world. Kamala Harris's husband evacuated after bomb threat targets school. U.S. responds to trucker blockade with border of Canada. Syrian air defenses respond to hostile targets over Damascus, says state media. Parliamentarians fight over Ukrainian flag. GOP gets wind from Supreme Court on Alabama voting map. Biden fulfills Elon Musk's wish. Let's see. We're to last night at least. Pfizer forecasts record-breaking earnings. I bet that's a shocker, right? Russian government rolls out plan to regulate cryptocurrencies. And we are to today. Okay, let me have a sip of coffee and a vape. A lot of damn headlines. All right. I think I'm good. All right. Share of Americans who blame Trump for Capitol riot is revealed. North Korea issues dire warning to the U.S. First Canadian provinces scrap COVID mandates. That was Saskatchewan. Protesters arrested trying to pass Parliament barricade. That was in New Zealand. I talked about that. A new AI-controlled device helps paralyzed people move. Russia wants Belarus to send troops to Syria. Japan whipping up hysteria in World War II row with Russia, says Moscow. A high-profile U.S. Democrat apologizes for maskless school photo. The U.S. outlines position on Putin-Macron talks. Alzheimer's may be prevented with toothpaste, researchers suggest. Okay. A university to pay $243 million to victims of alleged sex abuse by a gynecologist. EU reportedly pushes for new pandemic prevention treaty. Porn sites may employ facial recognition to verify the user's age, says reports. I think that is hilarious. So, it says may, so I guess it hadn't been put into effect as of yet. But that's hilarious if they want facial recognition to verify age for porn. I just think that's funny. Tinder swindlers prompts dating app warning. RTDE to sue German regulator over broadcast ban. Disney shareholders want to oust CEO. Iran unveils new long-range missile. A notorious morgue monster to be charged with more crimes, says the media. Dating sites riddled with scammers, says a report. WHO wants rich states to contribute to COVID-19 plan. European banks panicking over Russia-Ukraine crisis, says reports. Tesla faces court challenge. A European nation scraps €1 coin design amid plagiarism scandal. EU warns about Russia and China. Olympic star Biles reacts after U.S. broadcaster is accused of shaming athlete. I shared out a sports one. I didn't intend to. Russian journalists reveal Chechen fears. Normally I catch them. Stealth warship submarine hybrid unveiled in Russia. 81-year-old European monarch tests positive for COVID. New bridge linking Europe and Asia set to open. Talked about that. Americans sink deeper in debt. Hypocrisy on display, demonizing Freedom Convoy and praising BLM protests. Pretty good article. Top MP resigns over poorly formulated Ukraine tweet. European country declares beginning of the end of COVID pandemic. That was Poland. Bill Gates claims he can stop future pandemics. I'm sure you can. If you just go ahead and depopulate the earth now, that will much lessen the chance of a pandemic in the future. So, yeah, if you could take out 95% of the population, I don't think you'd have to worry about a pandemic. A Pentagon pressured to embed reporters among Europe-based troops. Iconic TV host blasts council's vegan madness. Strategist outlines scenario for oil to hit $120 a barrel. Yikes. NBC alleges Biden privately disparages Putin and other world leaders. That's okay, because they do the same to him. Come on. Come on, man. U.S. Army recruitment game shutting down. French money factory up in flames. U.S. military can now use air bases in EU state bordering Ukraine. Scientists take huge step towards harnessing power of the stars. U.S. lawmaker outlines plan to drain the swamp in Congress. A politician who had 8 COVID vaccines is hospitalized and on a ventilator, says reports. I wonder why. Lockdown sends sales of one favorite snack popping. Okay. Podcast host fired after calling for establishment of Nazi party. Europe is not on the brink of war, says the EU. Paris attack suspect reveals whether he killed anyone. SpaceX reveals how it lost dozens of Starlink satellites. No country in Europe can pressure Russia, says Ukraine's Zelensky. A Greenpeace chief lands top job in government of EU state. A new documentary series on white people dubbed racist. It's got to be pretty bad. European nations reveal end date for COVID restrictions. Russia not obliged to solve EU's gas problem, says Moscow. A U.S. senator tells Russia what Germany will do. Bernie Sanders warns against war with Russia. Fauci reveals future of COVID restrictions. We'll see if the truckers have anything to do with that. Russia asks UN to intervene in dispute with the U.S. A poll shows if EU nations fear likely Russian invasion. Let's see. This is a good article here, too. Hey, Trudeau, we're part of the Freedom Convoy, and it's a show of unity, not hate. It's a pretty good article. Joe Rogan declines $100 million offer. Macron privately backs Putin's call for Ukraine to stay neutral, says media. Zelensky hits back at Putin over my beauty remarks. Spy world worried about Biden's intel leaks on Russia, says reports. Covered that. Syria shoots down Israeli missiles, says Russia. Biden could rebrand stalled Build Back Better agenda. And probably will. EU countries' military not capable of properly defending it, a report finds. Trump's social media app launch date is revealed, says a report. Police threaten to arrest protesting truckers. Actually, I think I covered that one. UK proposes sending troops to counter Russia. Moscow weighs in on London's obsession with Ukraine. I talked about that one. And talked about that one. U.S. media questions use of non-white emojis by white people. And lastly here, dozens arrested as police and anti-mandate protesters clash, and that was in New Zealand. So, anyway, that is the headlines. I'm going to sneak out of here and relax the rest of the evening. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow to close up this week and see what kind of more craziness we got coming our way. So anyway, I appreciate everybody coming. Hope to see you tomorrow. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.